Welcome to another episode of Well Adjusted Mama. This is a podcast dedicated to educating and empowering women through preconception, pregnancy, birth, and early motherhood on wellness lifestyle. I'm your host, Dr. Laura Brayton. I'm a maternity pediatric chiropractor, functional medicine practitioner, and mother who has hand selected experts in natural holistic healthcare specialties to shine light on options and choices during this exciting phase of a woman's life. Today's episode is how Western medicine often overlooks natural fertility solutions. And my special guest is Mike Yee. Mike Yee is the founder and CEO of Project Life. It's a modern fertility company rooted in traditional Chinese medicine. After witnessing firsthand the limitations of conventional fertility treatments, Mike set out to make his father, Dr. Yee's 40-year legacy in natural fertility care accessible to the world. Based on his formulations, Mike launched Project Life, a personalized, science backed herbal system that helps women and men restore balance, improve fertility, and conceive naturally. Hi, Mike. Welcome to the show. I'm very excited to have you on today.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
So, we're going to talk about how Western medicine often overlooks natural fertility solutions. And so, I just want to dive into you sharing a little bit about your story and how come you're so passionate about this topic.
Yeah, it's comes from a place of personal experience, and kind of give you a bit of background on me. My name is Mike. I'm the founder of a company called Project Life, and we are a natural fertility company that combines traditional Chinese medicine with a modern personalization approach to help women and couples conceive. And it's so personal to me on so many fronts. My father, Dr. Yi, he's been a traditional Chinese medicine fertility doctor for over 40 years. He's helped thousands of women conceive, many after being told they had no chance. And I went through it personally as well with my wife. We both went through infertility ourselves. We found ourselves in the same place after so much medication, so many treatments, so many supplements that didn't work. And it wasn't until we turned to kind of my father's care and his formulations that we were finally able to conceive. And now we have a beautiful toddler. He's 3 years old. We've got a 2 month old at home. So, I've kind of lived and breathed this story for many years and through growing up. So it's very personal to me. And I just kind of really see both sides of the coin, how Western treatments work in so many scenarios, but in some ways they can overlook many things.
So, that's fascinating. You grew up obviously with your dad and your dad's history and care, and you didn't go to him first?
It's funny, right? Because it's one of those situations where because things are so close to home, you're just like, I'm gonna go see the other options first.
Mm,
And like so many couples being educated in kind of the Western society, their first option is always IVF or IUI. Like that's just kind of the solution you're told, right? Whether it's from your family doctor, whether it's a specialized
OBGYN.
GYN, whether it's, any other kind of specialized fertility doctor, that's kind of what they recommend. And so that's what we were recommended, right? Nobody really tells you kind of seek natural solutions first before going to the IVF route.
Right.
Unfortunate. And that's kind of like that's kind of part of our crusade here, if you will, which is, we think there's always a time and place for those treatments. But we would really encourage people to just kind of consider some natural options first and just do your own homework. And, we've had so many cases of this where women who have failed multiple rounds of IVF and came to us or came to my dad and we were able to help them just because we were able to kind of solve the root issues of why they were struggling with infertility in the first place.
Yeah, 100%. It's always makes sense to address the root cause. And I think generally now more and more people are realizing Western medicine is not, that's not its strength, right? It's really
Yeah.
more acute, life saving, services and care that they excel in. And, infertility is a symptom of something bigger, right? Of something imbalance in the whole system. It's not a standalone part of the body, right? It's everything is connected. So when there's and we see also in general, like, infertility is increasing, right, in the world at a pretty dramatic rate, and this is like a red flag that we're in general getting less healthy and less healthy, right, if we're not able to reproduce on our own.
Yeah, and I think you nailed it, right? There's just so many things to unpack there. Infertility rates right now are 1 in 6. In the US, it's 1 in 4. And that
Oh,
number keeps getting worse and worse.
wow.
Yeah.
And,
And
like, pretty quickly, like, I don't know what it was a few decades ago, but I'm sure it was dramatically lower than that.
dramatically lower. And, I'm not here to kind of preach and say, okay, there's some secret conspiracy, right? A lot of it is women and couples are having kids older. There's obviously that kind of career first focus. But at the same time, there's so many other variables being introduced to our environment, whether that's toxins or stressors or any other kind of inputs into our body that's really affecting kind of that natural rhythm and that natural balance. So there's all these factors at play here that is really, really affecting kind of those rates and those numbers.
Yes. 100%. So, what is Project Life? Like, how you created that, like, a few years ago when you were going through your own fertility challenges?
Yeah, yeah. I think maybe what I'll do is kind of explain what makes us a little bit different than some of the Western treatments, right? And the Western treatments, and you had mentioned this, Dr. Laura, earlier, which is there's a lot of kind of focusing on symptom management rather than identifying and correcting root imbalances. So, for example, if ovulation is irregular, the solution is often to stimulate the ovaries with hormones rather than exploring why the cycle is irregular in the first place. We kind of focus on what is the root cause of that. Is there underlying stress? Is it what we call liver stagnation? Is it poor blood circulation or weakened kidney system? And that's kind of the approach that we take. So Project Life is a fertility company. It's rooted in traditional Chinese medicine, and we help women and men restore hormonal balance. We help regulate their cycles and conceive naturally through personalized herbal formulations. So our approach is based on my father, Dr. Yi's 40 years of clinical work treating infertility. And we combine that with basically data driven results and data driven personalization. You come to our website, you fill in our 50 question questionnaire, and based on that, our back end fancy algorithm will recommend a formulation. And we kind of customize a formulation specifically for you. And that's how we kind of address the root cause of the infertility.
How many different formulas are available?
The short answer is unlimited. The
Okay.
quick answer is we work off 6 root formulations, 6 base formulations, and depending on how you answer the questionnaire, we'll add additional ingredients.
Oh,
Yeah, and we recommend a minimum 90 days, and our support team is incredible. We're with you all the way. We email you all the time, and so if there's differences in how you're feeling, we can always tweak your formulation in the subsequent months too. So it really is an end-to-end protocol.
that's very cool. So, I'm very familiar with Chinese herbs. Is this a tincture, capsule, tea? Can you choose? Like, what's the options here?
Yeah, great question. It's an herbal formulation, so it's powder, and it's a powdered format that is mixed with water that becomes a tea.
I see.
And
Does it
this,
taste okay?
I was going to tell you that.
Some of them are pretty intense.
It's very potent. It's very intense. I'll admit we won't win any awards in the taste department. And that's intentional. We don't really want to fill it with any fillers, any kind of kitchen
Sugar.
massive sugar, right?
Yeah.
Things that really remove from the potency. And we really pride ourselves in the quality of ingredients.
Let's talk about that because that's also really important to me. Third party tested, for any heavy metal toxicities, chemicals, pesticides.
Yeah, yeah. So we source our ingredients from the best growers in Asia. My father and I personally go visit these growers. We check on the ingredients and make sure everything's great. From there, it's then formulated, compounded in a GMP certified facility in Asia that we also check as well. After one batch is done, it's also lab tested again for purity, potency, heavy metals. Once that's done, it's shipped here to Canada in our other GMP certified facility We test it once more just to make sure there's no issues with the shipping over here, the transportation. There's no contamination, and we also kind of test it a third time before we personalize it. So there's like 3 to 4 levels of different testing. We're also Health Canada compliant. And I know in the US, supplements aren't regulated by the FDA, but in Canada, it's a little bit different. It's way more stringent. Supplements have to be registered with Health Canada. You have to have an NPN license to be able to sell. And they have all these rules and regulations in place, including toxicity, which we pass with flying colors. So there's all these checks and balances along the way that really, really kind of allows us to stand behind our product.
Got it. And now I just picked up on your Canadian accent.
So,
I very slightly when I'm like, oh, I hear it. Canadian, eh?
maybe when I say a or about or something like that. Yeah.
So that's cool. Then you're able to ship your products to the US, obviously. And
Yeah. Yeah. So we ship our products to the US and Canada currently. Because we are Health Canada compliant, that automatically makes us okay with the FDA. We're registered with them,
I say,
but because we're not a medication, we're not a medicine, we don't have to be quote unquote approved by them. But again, that doesn't mean that we don't put in the work to make sure we have quality stuff. So yeah,
right.
we're
Yeah.
not flying based in the US.
So important.
Yeah.
So I think that's very cool. Like when you think about going to a traditional Chinese doctor, they would literally be grabbing the herbs from their, pharmacy, right? And mixing them and creating that custom blend for their patient. And you're able to do that using data, tech, AI, I guess, is helping to create this type of formulation as well based off of the questionnaire.
Yeah, we were able to take my father's kind of 40 years of clinical experience, all the incredible data he's had, and
Yeah.
you know
And all those, positive results.
exactly, exactly, all of those, and we were able to kind of put it into this black machine that we've got in the background running all this data that's all compliant as well. But we were able to kind of extract based on your symptoms. Like our questionnaire will ask things as deep as um, when do you get fatigue after you eating? What color is your period? How long is your period? Do you get painful cramps? Okay, how painful are them? Do you get night sweats? How's your energy level? How's your mood? Things of that nature. And we really kind of get down to like what is causing that. And some of the amazing feedback we get is my fertility doctor didn't even ask me these questions.
Right.
Right.
And
So
these are very important questions, by the way, like extremely. They give a lot of information. Symptoms are just wonderful signals that our body is trying to tell us that something is wrong, right? And we don't want to suppress that information. We want to
exactly.
listen to it.
Yeah, and you probably see this all the time, Dr. Laura. Aches and pains are not just aches and pains. They're it's your body telling you
Hmm.
something deeply imbalanced underneath.
Yes,
And
100%.
that's the view that we take as well.
Yeah. So, the a woman, and I think, I mean, when I do preconception work, I always want both partners to be involved because we do know that male factor is 50%. And generally, also, when I'm doing preconception work, we know that the more cleansed, even if the people are fertile, the more they clean out their body before they get pregnant, the healthier the baby, right?
Yeah.
Because we can make those epigenetic changes in the sperm and the egg before conception happens. So ideally, both partners would be working with Project Life. And as they're doing this, they're cleaning out toxins in their liver, their gut, their kidneys. They're moving those toxins out of the body, creating healthier genetics, healthier DNA to pass on to the offspring.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. So there's so many things to unpack there. So yes, we work with men and women, right? It's exactly like you said. Men is 50% of the equation,
Yes. And they're
and
giving 50% of the DNA to that baby. So it
yeah,
could be like toxic DNA or healthy DNA.
yep, exactly. And I wish there were more men that were educated on this. And it's such an obvious kind of equation. It takes a man and a woman to make a baby, but then a
Right.
lot of men have that mindset where I'm not the problem.
Right. Or even if it's not like a fertility problem, there could still just be a suboptimal health of that child because dad did not take care of his body, right? And
Exactly.
so fertility is not a woman's issue here, right? It is both partners.
100%.
Yeah,
And that's another angle that we are trying to educate on. And a lot of it is coming down to like we have situations where it's okay. My wife and I have been trying for a year, and everything checks out. Everything looks good on paper. Her blood work is great, and then we'll
right,
be like, okay, how about you?
right,
And they'll be like, oh, I had no idea I had to do that. They'll do like the basic semen analysis and all that stuff. And then once we get them on the male formulations that we have, after 2 months, they're able to conceive, right?
right.
Because they're just not aware of this, or there's a mindset that it's all up to the women to figure this out.
To make the baby. Yeah, it definitely takes two. And, just it's again common sense. The healthier the individuals, both partners, the healthier your baby. So even getting pregnant to me is not enough. We want to get pregnant with a healthy baby, right?
Yep.
We want to create a healthy next generation. And that takes both partners to be actively involved. So, like, for example, if we have a dad who's out drinking every night for work, right, and is like a heavy alcohol consumer, maybe smokes pot on the weekends, and is sedentary and has a high stress job, he might be able to get you pregnant, but is he really offering the best quality DNA here to create that healthy baby, right? It really is important that both partners take responsibility for that.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we stress that a lot, right? Which is like when you're with our protocol, we give you kind of a diet plan, and we always say make sure your partner is doing this as well.
So, like a lifestyle, right? So, in addition, the teas, I'm assuming, are once a day you drink the tea or
Once a day,
twice a day.
we made it super easy to make. It's just with warm water, you mix it, you drink it.
Yeah.
As part of that, we also offer kind of a diet protocol that's free of charge. It's included in the protocol. We got a diet plan, and a lot of that is focused on TCM principles of warm, nourishing, blood
Mm.
moving, blood promoting
So we're
food.
doing more of the soups, the stews, protein rich, avoiding the raw vegetables,
You
cold
got
salads.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, certainly the fall winter season, that's how I always gravitate. But if you're wanting to create a baby, we want a lot of warming as well, especially for the womb energy, right? So, yeah.
you got it. And you probably get this as well, where a lot of patients are shocked that their cold salad and their cold smoothie habit is actually not quote unquote healthy.
And the iced coffee. Yeah.
It's coffee, right?
Right, right.
Those are always kind of surprises to many.
Yeah, these are definitely, not what you want to do when you're trying to make a baby. And the other thing that I have seen over 20 years of practice is women that really want to get pregnant and are still having like a glass of wine a few times a week, right? Like not crazy amount, but it's like you have to act like you're already pregnant
Hmm.
when you are actively trying to get pregnant. And that would be my advice to women listening. So we really just cut out the crap and we don't wait for that positive pregnancy test
Yeah.
to take these things out of our life.
Yeah, and we deal with. I couldn't agree with that more. And luckily or unluckily for us, we deal with a lot of women who are kind of they've tried everything.
We're desperate. Yeah.
Yeah, so when they come to us and we say you got to do this, they really commit to the protocol.
They
And
listen.
yeah, and you're right. Like it's not just our formulations will not work if your diet is not great, if you're not taking care of your body in other ways. So we just make sure that we're all encompassing and we hit.
Yeah, it's a team approach. It requires active care. It's very easy to drink a cup of tea twice a day. Like that's so passive, right? But
Mhm.
it's like, okay, I'm committing to working out regularly, moving my body, sweating. I'm creating boundaries around my work life balance and having, ways to manage my stress. That's positive.
Yep.
And all of this is going to just serve you for the rest of your life going into pregnancy and motherhood as well, because you can, have that crazy work party lifestyle for the rest of your life, but it's just not supportive for motherhood, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly. So it's great prep to prepare you. And it's such good habits to have
it's
because
good habits.
yeah, and when you do these good habits and you realize how your body thanks you for it, you kind of never want to go back.
You
Like we have
don't. You just feel
yeah.
so much better. Mike, what do you guys talk about regarding like the mind body? Like, do you have like any type of meditation protocols or anything like that that you recommend for women that are on this route?
Yeah, we recommend everything holistic and stress reducing. I think the number one is, and we get a lot of pushback on this, is we always recommend a minimum of 8 up to 10 hours of sleep. Because if your body is tired and stressed and kind of in this constant fight or flight mode, it's not working to create a baby. It's work
No way.
try to keep you alive, right?
I mean, I
So
give the example like our cave ladies, if they were running from a tiger, their body would not let them get pregnant because it was not a safe time to have a baby.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
So,
exactly.
unfortunately, in our modern lifestyle, our bodies are chronically feeling like we're running from a tiger. So,
Yeah,
why would our body feel safe to get pregnant?
exactly, exactly.
Safety is key. Our nervous system has to feel safe, and that is within our control. We have to just change the way we think, move, and live if it's not conducive to that, if we're in that oversympathetic fight or flight drive.
And just on that topic, what's interesting and a lot of women find surprising is the over exercising as well.
Yes,
A lot of women who are like, I do Barry's boot camp or boot camps and hit workouts and sauna, ice bath, all that stuff. And then we have to tell them you're doing too much. You
much.
are fit by, different measures, but you're doing too much and you're stressing your body.
Yes.
That's another kind of important thing to bring up.
Very important, and I think there's a season for that, right? So, like, if you're actively competing as a bodybuilder or whatever, like, that's what works, right? But when we're talking about preparing for motherhood, this is really about changing the way that you've lived in the past and really entering a new stage of your life and a new season. And I agree, anything that's really creating these intensities are not gonna be supportive for conception and a healthy pregnancy. So it is really about just listening to what your body's needs are,
Mhm.
and being underweight. If you're too like have too little body weight as a woman, that will also impact fertility.
Right.
Right? So recognizing our body needs some fat on it to get pregnant, and that's just thousands of years of the body recognizing if there's a famine around the corner, we need some fat stores to draw on to nourish this baby, or we're not going to make it, right? As a species.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. And that's exactly it.
Yeah. So I love it. So, what I like to do that would be supportive of this tea would be chiropractic adjustments to help balance out that parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system,
Yeah.
20-minute meditation. And there's some really great ones out there that are on fertility. So I think that's really important that we program that subconscious mind to imagine that we're already pregnant with this healthy baby and creating this empowered pregnancy and birth experience,
Yeah.
right? So really kind of retraining instead of feeling like a failure, this is never going to work, like we really want to shift past those negative beliefs and stay focused on the positive. And I also believe that's also digital detox or certainly news detox, anything that's really negative that's kind of weighing on you on a regular basis, like
Yeah.
watching the news, for example. You're
Yeah.
allowed to cut that out when you're trying to get pregnant and are pregnant because you don't need to know every little detail about what's going on in the world. It's not helpful.
Agreed. And our world is kind of designed around what is going to get your attention, what's going to kind of give you that dopamine hit or
Yeah, the media is for sure.
yeah, and so it's exactly you nailed it, right? Like we can't really put kind of direct metrics around how having a positive state of mind can help you be fertile and help you become pregnant, but it's so important. It's so important
It's so important.
when you align your outside and internal energetic balance, you create this kind of state of harmony where the
Mhm.
body just feels safe and capable of conceiving. So it's so many facets that need to come together. And I agree more. Yeah.
And of course, I love acupuncture as well. I'm assuming your dad does acupuncture.
Yeah.
So that is a beautiful way to help get the chi flowing and really support the healing process of the body. So when we really recognize what are we doing to help support health, that is where we're going to end up with a healthy pregnancy, right? Like that's where we're going to head. And I think the other thing that has really come to my mind is I'm even seeing and hearing more women in my practice who are pregnant and do have a full term pregnancy, but they have gestational diabetes and hypertension, and they have a lot of challenges during that pregnancy that were potentially could have been avoided if they were in my belief, a healthier state prior to that pregnancy. Because things like GD and even hypertension, those were all brewing before the pregnancy, even if they weren't present yet.
Yeah.
And so that woman might have already been pre-diabetic and, wasn't, so it's like these are all things that are preventable at the end of the day if we're really taking care of ourselves. And that's the best place to enter into pregnancy.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to what you were saying before, right? Which is if you do the upfront work and you do the prep, that work just becomes daily habits,
Yeah,
right?
you don't have to think about it. It's your lifestyle, and it's the lifestyle that's going to serve you the rest of your life. You're going to be a happier, healthier mother with lots of energy to care for your children. You're gonna be more present and grounded to be able to manage motherhood, which is hard. And you're gonna be modeling these habits for your child, which is just invaluable to be like, this is how we live in our household. We don't clean with chemical toxic products. We don't eat processed foods. We have limitations to screen time, right? Like
Mhm.
there's an awareness. This is how our family is operating and the whole family will benefit from these lifestyles. And I do find that the mother kind of leads the way around creating these habits and lifestyles in the home,
Yeah.
and but everyone benefits from it.
Yeah, and that's exactly it, right? When you kind of like do the upfront work, all of these things just trickle out from that. We have the same philosophy in our house. My wife, when she was pregnant, would practice kind of breath work, meditation, calmness, just lowering that cortisol response throughout the house. Even though we had a crazy toddler running around the house, he feeds off our energy too.
Yes.
And we do the same thing, no sugar in the house. We cut out all kind of like that junk food. And our 3-year-old rarely eats sugar, and he's just as happy and just as energetic as every other kid out there.
Sure. And
These
certainly
habits just become
healthier.
the norm.
Yeah.
These habits just become the norm.
Yeah,
And set the good foundations.
exactly. And then, for me, my son's now 8. Like, we go to a birthday party, you want a piece of cake, no big deal, right? But like at our home, we don't have to eat like that, right? So it's really having balance in the diet and that kind of the 80-20 rule.
Yes. Balance, we actually should stress that more. Balance is key. We're not saying,
Yeah.
go 100% whatever. Balance is key. The 80-20 rule is very important, and we practice that and preach that throughout our protocols as well.
Yeah. So, for people listening that are interested in finding out more about your business, how can they find your website and your products?
Yeah. So, what I would recommend is visiting our website first. It's www.getprojectlife.com. From there, you can fill out our questionnaire. It's the 50 question questionnaire. It's free, zero obligation. And if you do have any questions, you can actually reach out to me personally. My email is mike@getprojectlife.com. I'm happy to help in any way I can. Otherwise, our support team is incredible. They usually get back to you same day. And we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to help you. We'd love to hear about your journey, how we could potentially help you, and really kind of hopefully get you there to motherhood. And that's kind of what we're here for.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Mike, thanks so much for coming on the show today and sharing your passion for all things fertility and babies.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Laura. I really appreciate it.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode with Mike. He's such a wealth of information around natural fertility and specifically utilizing traditional Chinese medicine and supporting and optimizing fertility utilizing herbs. If you want to find out more about the formulations handed down from his father, Dr. Yi, check out their website, getprojectlife.com, and you can find out more about how to optimize fertility for men and women as they're preparing for a healthy conception and healthy pregnancy. And if you're looking for more one on one support with conception, fertility, and women's health from a functional approach, I'm excited to announce that my virtual functional medicine practice is now live. If you want more information, check out my website at drlaurabrayton.com. Go to Become a Patient, and you can click on the link to book a free 15-minute discovery call with me for one on one support in optimizing everything health oriented, especially when it comes to preconception and fertility support with a functional medicine approach. And also, please follow me on social media at Instagram and Facebook at Dr. Laura Brayton.